So I'm kind of deciding here and now that I think I kind of want to take a little bit of a, well, not necessarily a break. I mean, I don't really want to do picture-in-picture for the next couple of weeks just because, you know, I don't really feel like it. It's a big hassle dragging the desk forward, you know, putting the laptop on top of some books, doing that whole shebang. Plus, you know, I'm going to be going out of town next week and everyone's kind of taking their winter break right now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take mine too. So I'll start it early and then, you know, when I go out of town for a week, you guys will either be getting guest narrations for the week, depending on whether or not I have Wi-Fi or, you know, I'll figure out something, but just to let you know, you'll be seeing a little bit less of me in your sub box, but that should change like early mid-January-ish, you know, whatever 2 weeks from now happens to be. So I figured I would just, you know, talk about that right now as we kind of ease into this match. This is going to be against ConickHD. This is a UU match that I took some time ago, as is noted by the Brennan sprite as opposed to my regular character sprite. Meaning this match is probably at least, I want to say this match is like over 3 weeks old, but it's not too old, but the matches that you will be seeing if and when I decide to upload next week are probably going to be around this time frame as well. So if I battled you and I saved it and you haven't seen it yet, you might end up seeing it next week. So what happens in the first couple turns, lead off with Kangaskhan, going to go ahead and go for the fake out because fake out's a fake out. And he decides to volt switch. I do not want to take an overheat, so I decide to go out into Arcanine as he volt switches into Rhyperior. I go into Suicune to take the Earthquake, and to scare him off with the Scald, he decides to go out into Suicune to take the Scald, and then I end up burning him. Now, it's convenient that I, you know, got caught up when I did because this burn actually does end up helping me a lot, and I will show you when. But he decided to go for the Calm Mind, try to set up in my Suicune's face. While I do not have Rest, I have Roar on the Suicune just because I know how bulky Suicune is, and it can phase out, you know, lots of things provided that it's close to full health. So he decides to Volt Switch right now. I stay in for whatever reason just because I don't want to mispredict, like if I were to go out into Sawsbuck and then, you know, I would lose my Suicune if he decided to predict that and go for the Overheat. But the thing is that I decided to go for the Scald, so if he did overpredict, it would have looked kind of silly there and he would have taken a lot of damage. I suppose he was in the better boat having, you know, the stab advantage and whatnot. I kind of figured if I lose Suicune, then I still have Sawsbuck to deal with Rhyperior. Somewhat, I suppose. I mean, it's a ×4 Horn Leech, why not? But it's not a special attack, so that's just kind of what I got going on in my mind. But he Volt Switches back out into Suicune. I decide I'm going to phase him out regardless of what he decides to go for. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't get the burn, but, you know, burn for a burn, I deem that kind of fair, especially since I'm going to be dying pretty soon. And, you know, he just takes me out of the close combat, so not really that big a deal. But I'm kind of wondering what I'm going to do about this Cobalion, since I don't think I actually have anything faster than it. I can bring in Mismagius and hope I can take a Stone Edge. And I do have the hidden power fighting as well, but that's really all I got for it with this slap together team. I don't know. I was like, does he have the Stone Edge? Does he not have the Stone Edge? And it was at that point that I realized how badly I needed Suicune. Because I would have been able to take an Iron Head and a close combat reasonably well. I needed that thing burned, and now I don't have it anymore. But I do set up a sub, and I'm going to go ahead and go for a Nasty Plot. That way, if he wants to try Calm Minding, I will be in a better boat, since he will have to take the opportunity to rest if he does have it. Burn damage will be adding up a lot while I'm setting up my Nasty Plot. So he decides to go for another Scald. I think I went for 1 or 2 subs there. I wasn't exactly paying attention. My mindset probably was to be, because, you know, Mismagius has a decent amount of special defense, to see how much a Scald would have done. So if it breaks my sub, great. If it doesn't, then, you know, I'll set up again. But after, you know, +2, I think it was, I decided to go for Shadow Ball, doesn't take it out. Actually, no, I didn't. I went for the Hidden Power Fighting, thinking his Cobalion would have chosen there to come in. But now that he's asleep, not too big a deal. So he decides to stay in. He confirms that he is Rest Talk, you know, with Calm Mind and 1 attack, which happens to be Scald. So once again, Suicune on my side shows its importance, and I've lost it a little bit early. But as long as, you know, he picks some moves that, you know, don't necessarily, I think as long as he doesn't pick Scald, I should be good to go. I can set up as many Nasty Plots as I want behind the sub, and that'll be fantastic. So he goes for the Sleep Talk. I think he pulls another Scald. No, he pulls another Calm Mind. Now, right here, he's probably at +2, +3, something like that. I'm going to set up as much as I can and then just wail on him with Shadow Balls. I mean, he did heal off his burn, but, you know, I still got the advantage in that I get 1 free hit right here. And then I get another pretty decent hit on the next turn. Now, I did get the Spadef drop here, but I don't really care if I kill it off or not, as long as I can bring it into a low range, because you'll either have to rest or he'll have to take me out. So if he rests, I can set up even more. If he takes me out, then he'll be at a low enough health to the point where he can be revenge killed by something probably physical at this point, since of you know, because of how many special defense boosts he has. But I go for the Shadow Ball. Does not end up taking him out, but I think I can take a Scald somewhat well, since, you know, he's probably more defensively invested. Thankfully, he doesn't get the burn, which means I have a little bit more survivability, and I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Fighting, knowing that if he decides to try to salvage it and switch into his Cobalion, that, you know, being +4, I should be able to take it out from red health, and I do. So that is fantastic. Anyways, he brings in his Cobalion right here, and this turn right here is game-changing. He misses his Stone Edge. He told me afterwards that he did not have Iron Head, and that is just going to hurt him big time. I don't know if he's like sub-SD with 2 moves or what kind of moveset he's running, but he doesn't have a 100% accurate move that can hit me. You know, he probably has either Sacred Sword and Stone Edge or Close Combat and Stone Edge. You know, me being immune to one of them, he had to go for that. He missed. And now the biggest threat to my team is out of the way. You know, Mismagius put in some work. Mismagius, I suppose. Anyway, he actually doesn't even kill me off with a Volt Switch here, which really surprises me too. But he brings in a Sawsbuck, you know, to be immune to the Shadow Ball. Not that big a deal because I am running a Timid Mismagius, and I should be able to take it out next turn with a Hidden Power Fighting, providing he's not some kind of Scarf variant or anything like that. But I go for the Hidden Power Fighting right here. You know, I'm not going to make some kind of weird complex play or anything like that. I can't. I'm kind of just waiting for this thing to die, and it's put in a lot of work. You know, +4 Nasty Plot took out half his team. Granted, you know, thanks to a fairly fortunate Spadafter up and a Stone Edge miss, but he's going to take me out with the T-Bolt right here and now. So Rotom is still very much a big threat. I don't really know what I'm going to do about it. The only thing I have to deal with it is priority, and the problem is that Kangaskhan could not deal with Cobalion because, you know, the Fake Out is resisted, and if I went for the Sucker Punch, it would just boost him because of the Justified. But on Rotom, however, you know, Fake Out and Sucker Punch actually will do the job, one being 60 base power, one being 80 base power. The second hit is going to pack a little bit more of a punch, pun somewhat intended, than the first one, and that cleans out the Rotom, which is fantastic as well. So right here, I'm really regretting swapping out Low Kick for Drain Punch, and I was thinking about it in the match too, because it was pretty recently that I decided to do that. You know, Drain Punch getting a buff this gen. I used to run it on my Kangaskhan last generation, and it just didn't really do the job because it was only 60 power, so I decided to run Low Kick. Did great last gen, and I'm still kind of on the fence as to what I should be running. I'm still pretty set on doing Drain Punch, and I kind of just leave my Kangaskhan in as fodder here, but I'm going to do as much damage as I can before I get out to make it a little bit easier on Sawsbuck to take it out with the Horn Leech. So, you know, it wasn't all in vain. You know, I took it down to about half health, even with the Solid Rock. And unboosted, I think I'm running lefties too. I'm pretty sure that a Horn Leech should be able to do the job, just thanks to all the excessive multipliers we have there and whatnot. So makes quick work of that. And since Rotom is gone, the only thing he has left is a Darmanitan, I'm pretty sure. Now, if it's Scarfed, it will lock itself in on one move right now. If it's Flare Blitz, I don't know what I'll end up doing about that, but it turns out he's actually not Scarfed. I decided to go for the Double Edge just because, fuck it, you know. I do have one more Pokemon left, so depending on what he decided to go for, you know, I'd be able to act accordingly. He decides to go for the Flare Blitz, and, you know, he'll take himself out to recoil, and I still have a Sigilyph left that I did not end up using, so it's a double down at the end, but because I still got one lying in the wings, with wings, I'm going to take the, what was that, 1-0-2-0? I don't think my Arcanine died. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about the score. All I know is it was a really fun match. So if you guys enjoyed it too, you're welcome to leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I will be having a TCGO upload later tonight, possible Penumbra, maybe one before I go. I'll try to record another one. And then I really got to figure out whether or not there's going to be internet up in that cabin. If there is, then hey, you know, great, I can keep uploading for you guys. If not, then, you know, I'll be forced to take a vacation completely, you know, without electronics or anything like that, whether you like it or not. So that'll do it out of me. I'll try to keep you guys updated as soon as I find out things regarding that, and I will see you tomorrow.